Hey y'all, this week on This Is Gravel, we have
coffee.
We have coffee. We had a little bit of rain, which was needed. We have dry weather again. We have social media coming up. We have orange mud. We have
Zebra cakes.
Zebra cakes. We love zebra cakes. We have gospel and open. We have open range, and we have the epic. See you soon. Hey, and welcome to This Is Gravel. I'm Bobby Thompson. Sitting next to me today this week is
Neil Taylor. Same as like every week, man.
I know, but I like to start off in case that somebody hasn't for the past 3 years found us yet.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they're like, whoa, look at these two guys. Who is that? Well, that'd be Neil Taylor,
yes,
right?
I am Neil Taylor.
All right, so I'm giving you a chance here. Somebody might think you're Neil Tyler, and then you won't get the next starting gig. So, Neil, what have you been up to?
Let's see, riding some bikes.
You've been on a bike?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
On a bike, you know. Bike's doing well. Changed up the gearing for a little race coming up here this weekend.
Okay.
New hat.
I like the hat.
I like the hat, too.
That's going to be available coming up here in a month, right?
Rumor is that at DK, you guys can get this hat.
I like it.
Similar one, actually. You cannot get this hat. This is a one-of-a-kind hat.
What a salesman. Look at him go over there.
They are all one-of-a-kind hats, so they're pretty exclusive, but they are
moving
awesome.
on. Yeah,
moving on, let's see. Bobby, what have you been up to, man?
It's about time you asked the important stuff.
Let me see. Eating zebra cakes.
I've gotten a lot of zebra cakes. Thank you all very much for the zebra cakes. Yeah, Derek gave me some zebra cake rolls over the weekend, so I've been chowing down. And it's showing, it's showing. The hill's a little bit harder to climb up. I know you didn't want to say anything. This weekend I was actually spending time with my girls. So my wife took a much needed vacation from the family. And so, yeah, it was just me and the girls this weekend. So we did a little bit of bike riding, but we did a lot of exploring. So it was a good weekend.
I was going to say, nice.
We got some busy weeks coming up.
I'm going to say, the family time was needed on our side, too, and that's exactly what I was going to say, man.
For the next 4 or 5 weeks, we're all just not going to be on point with gravel. So
say next 6-7 weeks, I think I've got 4 races.
6 weeks, yeah, everything right up to the DK, basically. I mean, from here to this point on, the only weekend. Well, no, there's even something going on the weekend before the DK. So right up to it, boom. Yeah. So it's going to be busy. We're going to jump right into. We've gotten so many pictures this week that we're going to jump right off into some pictures. What do you think? We'll see what people have been riding. The weather's getting a little bit better.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Thanks, guys. We did have a ton of photos come in this week on our social media here at Gravel Guru. First up, we've got Jeremiah Johnson out at Barry-Roubaix. Lots of our followers out there this weekend. Mike did 100K on the Des Plaines River Trail in North Suburban Chicago. Kevin was out with Brad in LaSalle County and got 38 miles in. John Allen got in 168 miles solo east of Austin, Texas. Taylor was out at the Rage Against the Chainring in Benton, Kansas. Todd was out exploring Marshall County, Kansas dirt roads. Kurt Schneider was out near the Snake River Canyon south of Boise, Idaho. Boy, does that look like a lot of fun to get out and ride. Greg was out on a Trans-Iowa training ride this weekend. Good luck out there at Trans-Iowa this weekend, Greg. Louise did a Central Valley ride in Costa Rica, 100K and 1,500 meters of elevation. Crystal was out at the Barry-Roubaix in Wisconsin. Trevor Bridges was out with the World of Bikes guys in Iowa City bikepacking with his 9-year-old and a bunch of other folks. Aaron Crouch sent in this photo of Fall Creek Falls off Fall Creek Road in Swan Valley, Idaho. Peter was out riding in Australia. Justin was exploring the beach. This was at the Cure Beach, North Carolina, and says there's lots of great beach riding around there. Nick was out north of Duluth along the shores of Lake Superior. Jeremy was out at Cool Hand Loot Gravel Grinder in Leavenworth, Kansas, just over 105 miles. Jacob was at the Black Kettle Gravel Ride in Cheyenne, Oklahoma. Thank you to everybody that submitted photos this week. There's a ton. Make sure you check them out searching the hashtag #ThisIsGravel. Back to you guys.
Awesome, guys. We thank you for those pictures. Again, we love them. Make sure you're tagging them with This Is Gravel. There's a lot of races going on. The weather is getting nicer, so we're seeing folks, races I think up in Michigan, Illinois, other places like that, people out riding. So keep sending those pictures our way. Again, we love seeing them. Bobby, today I had a chance to talk to Josh Sprague. He's the owner of Orange Mud.
Orange Mud.
He's also a local guy. If you don't know, he's actually from up right in the area where Macy's goes through. We talked a little bit
around Eskridge, Kansas?
Yeah, right up around
Alma area?
Yeah, just a little bit north of Eskridge, and from what he told me today, the course actually goes past his dad's house this year. Ryan rerouted it, and I guess the road that he said his family grew up on is just gnarly. So
it's going to make me wish I had signed up for the 100.
Yeah, I just can't wait to be riding Macy's on a single speed this year. It's going to be a blast, but had a blast talking to Josh, and let's check that out. Hey guys, today we got Josh Sprague with us. Josh is the CEO and founder of Orange Mud. First of all, Josh, just tell me, how was Sea Otter? You were down there this past weekend.
Yeah, Sea Otter was great. We met, I don't even know how many people. Sea Otter has 500 exhibitors, to put that in perspective. It's like if you look at Interbike, I'm pretty sure it's bigger than Interbike, which is really the biggest industry trade show for cycling in the States, and Sea Otter, it's just a zoo. So yeah, it was cool. We met tons of people, and we had a Danny McCaskill performing right in front of our booth. So 3 times a day, I think it was. So if you don't know him, look him up on YouTube. He's like the most awesome trials rider on the planet. But so it was kind of cool to see him. I even got a water bottle signed for my kids, so I got to be a fanboy nerd there for the day. But yeah, dug it. Didn't race, just worked. But it was kind of nice to let everybody else suffer while we just enjoyed the day.
Awesome. Everything that I saw from this past weekend, it looked like everybody was having a blast out there. Well, let's get to Orange Mud. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the history about Orange Mud and how the company came about, how you made the decision to start making hydration packs and transition vests and other things like that.
Sure. So I was actually, after doing Ironman St. George in 11, I guess it was 2012. And, I hated stashing water bottles out on a run. And I thought if I put the bottle and the weight of a pack up really high up on your back, it would keep you a lot more stable, or the bottle and the bladder and whatever you may put there would be a lot more stable. So it was years of adventure racing, kind of paying attention to my teammates' backs that made me have that idea. And then I finally took action on it after my little boy was born. And we needed to, one of our jobs, my wife or myself, needed to give, and thought maybe I'd start a company and maybe people would actually like the product, and my wife can run it, and life will be good. And then, it just took off from there. We took off in the running space, but then obviously I've been a passionate mountain biker for 20 years now. And it was really exciting to me a year and a half ago to finally come out with our line of packs for the mountain bike space and gravel grind space. So it's been really cool to kind of tie everything in full circle, and just enjoy the dream.
I'm going to say, yeah, definitely running, I noticed was kind of the foundation, or at least I guess say the bread and butter of the company. But there has been a big push, it seems like, by you guys to move into mountain biking, gravel grinding. I know this year you guys, I think this is actually your second year, you guys are sponsoring out at Macy's, gravel ride for Macy's Prize up here in Eskridge, Kansas. Last year and this year, I know you guys are going to be at the Dirty Kansas Expo. We talked about Sea Otter. What's brought really that desire to have a bigger push into the cycling community for you guys?
Well, it's a lot of it's because I love it. So it's I don't know if my wife appreciates it as much, but I certainly do. So like I'm doing the Hellcat 100 in Michigan in 2 weeks. I'm racing in Macy's as well as sponsoring. I'm racing in Dirty Kansas as well as sponsoring it. Even the whole entire Leadville series we're doing. We sponsor all of them, but I also am racing them. So, I love the running space a lot. But I've always told people I like running, and I absolutely love to mountain bike and ride. So for me, it comes down to simply the amount of what I love. And then in the end, it's still the same challenges, right? I mean, runners want to have a stable hydration pack that doesn't move and bounce and squeeze and all this stuff. Mountain bikers, the same thing. And for me, like I raced for years when I lived in Arizona, and the problem with most packs is they're so freaking hot, or they go down too low, and you hit a choppy section of the trail and you feel your pack all flop around, or maybe you go through some quick dips and the pack hits you in the back of the helmet. and then you don't have quick access to gear. So my background and really probably where the whole foundation of Orange Mud has came from has been adventure racing, which I've done somewhere around 100 of them. And in there, you want quick access to things, especially during the bike. Compass, maps, nutrition, everything, right? So yeah, I feel that there was just a big void in the space for the cycling community. And again, I feel like we've done a really good job of making a pack that's more stable, more breathable, more functional than others on the market. And then again, I, of course, get to enjoy the benefit of riding and coming to these events too.
Yeah, you talk about some of the packs for cycling. I know myself, I've got the Gear Vest, which is a 1 liter hydration pack, and then with storage as well. But you guys got the Endurance pack too. What kind of set those two apart that really work for cyclists? Maybe what would be some benefits that some of our viewers could have from those?
Yeah, so the Gear Vest, the 1 liter bladder that you have in the back, so you've got 35 ounces, and then you have 2 big chest pockets up front for phone, nutrition, shoulder pockets for electrolytes and chapstick sunblock. The Gear Vest, the Endurance pack then goes up to 70 ounces, a 2 liter bladder in the back, and then same pocket configuration. And then even above that, which I believe the Endurance pack is awesome for things like the Dirty Kanza and some of these bigger events where, you've got water on your bike, but this gets you more of your nutrition up top and some key essentials. I'm a nerd with Strava. This year I'm using Garmin 835 or whatever it is. But last year I just used Strava on my phone and then had a little backup battery supply right here that powered it, which worked great. And then we even have the Adventure Pack 12 liter, which is what I use in all my unsupported rides. And today I'm going to do a big ride in the Front Range here in Colorado. And I just load up all my key gear in it, and it can hold jackets and other stuff better too. So, but all, super stable through all 3 sizes. You can haul, you can have a pack to fit whatever type of race you're going to do.
Hey, Josh, talk about the stability. That was to me the drawing factor. My first Dirty Kanza was back in 2014. I used a different hydration pack back then, and I was miserable. It was sloshing around, moving back and forth the entire time, and I honestly wanted to just ditch it and toss it in the ditch. I mean, it was awful. And so last year when I ran into you guys down there at the expo and we started talking and got to try one on, I was like, wow, this thing, it sits snug, it sits up high so I could get to my jersey pockets in the back. That was something I couldn't do in the past. And so, I saw the different advantages right out the gate, and, then getting to try it. And I mean, now I think I've probably worn it for at least 6 or 7 different races since last year's Dirty Kanza, and I've never had issues. So I do like you say, that stability on the back. I mean, that can wear you out, especially over 100, 200 miles. Now, you guys don't just do hydration packs, though. You guys got other things, too. I mean, one of your guys' other, I would say, bigger draws for some people is that transition wrap. Why don't you tell us about that and maybe some of the other products that you guys have to offer?
Yeah, so we have, it's called the transition wrap. It's a changing towel and seat cover. Basically, we took a beach towel and put a belt into it with a clip so you can wrap it around your waist and change securely without your towel falling off. One of my big pet peeves after exercise is changing out in public. And some people are like, oh, yeah, I don't care if people see me naked. And that's not really the problem half the time in today's crazy world. You can go to jail for stuff like that. So as simple as it sounds, especially if you're biking in some urban environments, you don't exactly just want to drop trowel in the parking lot of a grocery store. So we put that feature in there, and then my other big pet peeve is sitting on my car seat, whether the leather's real hot in the summer or whether the cloth is just going to absorb all the sweat, mud, and blood, and whatever you have on you after a ride. So we integrated this. It's a zip-on hoodie, basically. That it's a zipper that comes in at an angle. When you zip it up, it creates a pocket, slips over the headrest, and it keeps it from sliding off the seat. So it's definitely been a flagship of ours. It was our second product that we launched in 2013, February of 2013, and we made Runner's World Gear of the Year that year in December, and it's really what put us on the map. And we landed 100 stores in the first 30 days that went live, and then it's just taken off from there. So it's been really cool. And then we have a bunch of lifestyle packs too they're incredible from like we call it the gym and tri bag, but it's really a multi-sport bag that is built with the toughest materials you can imagine, and is perfect to organize all your race day stuff and or even just take as global travel for that matter. So we have, I don't even know, maybe 200 or 300 SKUs anymore. We're building out our whole custom line for apparel, jerseys, kits, running gear and everything, and socks. I mean, you name it. It's kind of taken a life of its own. But yeah, we're carried around 20 countries now and 400 stores and growing like crazy.
Awesome. Good stuff. One of the things, too, that, when I found out about the company and did a little research that appealed to me was finding out that you're a local guy. You grew up here in Kansas. And in fact,
did, man.
If I'm not mistaken, that Macy's course is going to be going pretty close to where you grew up at. Why don't you tell us what growing up here in Kansas was like? I mean, did you do a lot of running and biking back here back in the day, or what else kind of?
Yeah. So I grew up in between Paxico and Eskridge, and Macy's, for many of you back there that know, it starts in Eskridge and heads up basically through Paxico and back around, and it goes down what we always called the Rabbit Road because we'd grow up, hunting rabbits on it. But my dad literally ends at basically where the road ends. So when I mentioned to Ryan this year, I'm like, you're going to be going real close to my dad's, and he's like, you know what, we've always wanted to go down Bobcat Road where your dad lives. So well, maybe we'll go down there. So hopefully that's not too terrible. The bridge is kind of out down there, but you can get around it on a bike. But yeah, I grew up out in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere, a lot of clay, a lot of mud. And that's really kind of where the root of orange mud came from. So for anybody that rides Macy's, you'll see an orange mud booth right in front of my dad's house. When you go biking by, we'll have a neutral support out there for anything you need. I'm going to throw in all kinds of, junk tubes and tires and pumps and everything. But yeah, growing up, I like my first endurance ride, my cousin and I, we rode our BMX bikes from our house to Alma one day. And we rode across mostly cow paths through the pastures, through most of it. And to like Volland, I think. It was awesome. And I guess I didn't even think about it back then. I guess that was my first official gravel grind that day. It was 20 miles as the roads go anyway. But yeah, I ran, quite a bit, ran cross country at Bonte High School. And, mostly for me, I think the driver of everything was just growing up in the country and spending a lot of time hiking and, going out tooling around in the woods all the time and just enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, it's an awesome place up there around Eskridge, in that area. I know I've been up there with Ryan quite a few times riding. We've seen Bobcat Road. Many times we've been riding together and said, you know what, we need to turn down that sometime. But we've always had a planned route we were going, and so I'm glad to hear that will be on the course this year. Looking forward to going past there. And again, thanks to your guys' support for that race. It's a great race. For those that don't know about Macy's, what it does is all the funds that Ryan raises from that race support keeping that local pool there in Eskridge going, which is just an awesome thing. And I know Ryan on his website for the race has some information as well on that. Josh, one last question. You guys got a lot of products that service, I guess you could say, people in a lot of different ways. What is your hope, basically, in how your products can help people? What is that response you want to get from runners, cyclists, gravel grinders, mountain bikers, saying, hey, your product helped me in this way?
Yeah, the number one thing is I want people to go out and ride and enjoy their bike or enjoy the run. And the more my number one thing I love to hear is I went out for a run today or went out for a ride today, and I forgot my pack was there. I mean, I've heard that so many times, and it never gets old. We've been in business for 6 years now, and it's my favorite thing to hear. So the last thing I want to do is have gear that makes riding less enjoyable. So especially, some of these rides coming up in Kansas can be really freaking hot. I hope not. Especially, Macy's and Dirty Kansas both should have 50-degree temperatures and slightly overcast and no wind, maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Be awesome.
But it could be 95 and rainy and humid and nasty. And like I've done that death ride back there in Madison years ago a few different times. And my God, it seemed like it was always a broil fest. The pack on a day like that can be absolutely miserable. And for me, that's where I think our packs really shine, is they breathe better than anything else on the market. And again, they're super stable. You're never going to, I don't believe you're going to complain about our packs saying, hey, this was too hot, moved around too much. So yeah, we just want you to make you love what you do, not think about us, and love what you do.
Okay. And folks are interested too, they can go to your guys' website, orangemud.com. Check out all the information there. You can always hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. I'm sure you can probably find Josh out there as well. I know Kevin, your guys' social media guy, he's usually really responsive too. So if folks have more questions, don't hesitate, because I agree with you. I think it's a great pack that really, on hot days, boy, it does make a difference. My back is still able to breathe, so it's awesome. Josh, appreciate the time today, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Appreciate it. See you on course.
Sweet, Josh. It was good talking to you earlier today. Love hearing about stuff like that. Again, I used Orange Mud hydration vests, one of their ambassadors this year, and I'll tell you, I really got turned off from hydration vests 4 or 5 years ago when I started riding because they'd bounce around a lot. And I like theirs. He talked about it in the interview, how it holds tight to your back. It doesn't move around. It's good stuff. Bobby, we mentioned earlier, we got a lot coming up.
We do have a lot coming up. I just noticed your KU colors. I got to stop and pay tribute to the KU colors. What? Oh, K-State, whatever. KU colors. Look at him right here. Okay. I
grew up in the Chicagoland area. KU really doesn't mean a whole lot to me. It just happens to be blue, red. Now that I know this.
All right. My mood just got picked up. Yes, we have a ton going on. This weekend alone, I'm going to say regionally because it's what I keep track of around this area. So this weekend alone, there's Trans-Iowa, Open Range, which is in
Pratt, Kansas.
And we have the Epic, which is around the Ozark area, right? Good enough? Okay, around the Ozark area. I've been wanting to do the Epic for the past 2 years. In the past 2 years, things have popped up. This year, something else popped up. So I have to stay and cover the shop because everyone else is going out of town, and I'm stuck here in Emporia. So you are going to...
I'll be out at the Open Range.
You're going to the Open Range. Real briefly. Open Range, Pratt, Kansas, sandy gravel area.
Yeah,
right?
Sandy gravel. And 200K, so about 125 miles is what they got the course. It's pretty flat out there.
Yeah.
So I think they only got it in right around 3,000 feet of climbing. So it's going to be fast, but with that sand, it's been pretty dry here. We got a little bit of rain this last weekend.
You have constant resistance with the sand out there. But
yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it could be a really fast day on the bike.
First year. So I want to hear next week how that turned out for you.
So yeah, I think it was their first year of doing this race, and I think they had somewhere almost 300 people register for the event. I mean, really good turnout for their first year.
It's perfect. Some pent-up need out that direction, obviously. So Matt and crew are headed down to the Ozarks to be around the Epic this weekend. Matt doesn't ever get to come on camera, but he's sitting over there nodding his head. He's excited. And can't wait to. I'm going to guess we're going to have lots of filming on that next week. Some clips to show you. I am going to stay home. I will not be on the bike much, but because I'm staying home, I'm going to get to. I have what's called a spectator's badge for the Glass Blown Open disc golf here in Emporia. As you know, disc golf in Emporia is almost as huge as gravel in Emporia. Dynamic Discs is a tremendous company that's Jeremy Rusko here in town is the owner of, and the Glass Blown Open is their huge equivalent of the Dirty Kansas, where they bring in disc golfers from all over the United States. So I'm going to be here, be a part of that, walk up down the courses and get a taste for it this year. Hopefully next year throw my own disc at it. So we'll see what happens. So even though I'm not riding, still participating. So it's going to be a good weekend. So there's going to be a ton going on this weekend for everybody involved. Make sure that you let us know what you're doing. Make sure that you send, pictures, clips, zebra cakes, whatever you want to send. Hashtag Gravel Guru. What else am I missing here?
Hashtag This Is Gravel.
This Is Gravel. We got Casual Cyclists. Minister of Gravel, find us on Facebook, blah, blah, blah.
Say hello.
Say hello.
Hi.
Oh, look at that. Matt wants you to say hello if you see him. I think Matt needs a hug. Give Matt a big hug when you see him at the Epic this weekend. He is asking me for a hug right now.
He will have the red hat on that says Gravel Guru here.
Give Matt a hug. He'll put you on camera. It'll be a cool thing.
I need hugs too. I'll be down at Open Range if you're there. I would like hugs, and so
I just want zebra.
So
cakes.
Hug me. Yeah, if you see Bobby, just give him zebra cakes or zebra rolls.
Or zebra rolls.
Yes.
Okay. Have a great weekend. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.